Hey there, welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to be your dedicated AI learning coach today. If you've been hearing a ton about artificial intelligence and deep learning lately, and maybe feeling just a little overwhelmed by it all, you are in the exact right place. Today, we are going to demystify deep learning step by step. We're going to completely strip away that confusing jargon, build a really clear roadmap, and give you the foundational tools you need to safely and confidently navigate the world of AI.
Okay, let's dive right into this. We've got a super clear beginner-friendly syllabus today. We'll start by mapping out your AI learning journey, then look at the three main ways AI actually learns. After that, we'll cover generative AI, take a peek at how AI agents work, and finally, wrap things up with some absolutely crucial guardrails around safety and ethics. Ready? Let's get started.
All right, first stop on our roadmap, let's build that foundation and figure out what AI actually is at its core, without all the movie magic.
When you hear the term deep neural networks, it sounds totally like science fiction, right? But honestly, they're really just a type of machine learning model made up of some pretty powerful equations. At their core, these networks take in massive variable inputs, picture feeding a system millions of tiny puzzle pieces, and they process them to find relationships that predict an output. It's literally just math, but it's math that is so incredibly powerful that it easily searches through these relationships to power the everyday tools you probably already use, like translating a website into another language, helping cameras recognize objects, or getting your digital assistant to understand your voice. Moving right along to part two. How do these equations actually learn the relationships and all that data? Let's look at the big three. If you look at the cutting edge of AI right now, the machine learning methods basically break down into three main buckets. I call them the big three. We've got supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Let's just break these down one by one so you can see exactly how the learning process works behind the scenes. Let's compare the first two. In supervised learning, the AI relies on labeled input and output pairs. Think of this kind of like a teacher guiding a student. So if we want an AI to, say, classify music genres, we feed it a massive pile of audio clips that a human expert has already labeled with the correct genre. The AI learns from the teacher's answers. Super simple. Unsupervised learning, on the other hand, no teacher. It looks at a bunch of raw data and finds the underlying structure totally on its own. It maps things out using what data scientists call latent variables, which is basically just a fancy phrase for hidden shortcuts or natural groupings the AI discovers completely by itself. Then we have the third way, reinforcement learning. In this approach, the AI builds a map from what it observes in the world to a specific action. They call this a policy network. Think about a physical robot. Its policy network learns how to map raw sensor data into actual physical movements of its joints. Or imagine an AI playing chess. It looks at the current state of the board, that's the observation, and maps that directly to the best possible move to win the game. All right, part three. We're going to shift gears here from how AI recognizes patterns to how it actively creates brand new things. Now, what's really interesting about this is, well, the quote you're looking at right now was actually written by an AI, GPT-3 to be exact. The model was simply given the title and the author of a textbook, and boom, it was able to generate a highly plausible continuation of the text, writing out a totally logical summary of chapters and sections. This really goes to show that generative models don't just categorize data, they understand the relationships well enough to predict and create incredibly realistic, brand new sequences. And hey, generative AI isn't just about text. Check out these chairs. Many generative models use deep learning to map those simple latent variables we mentioned earlier to super complex, high-dimensional data, like images made of thousands of individual pixels. By sampling from a simple probability distribution, the deep learning model maps those samples to create entirely new visuals. Like here, the AI is generating entirely new variations of chairs that literally do not exist in the real world. It's taking abstract math and turning it directly into pixels. Moving on to part four, let's look at AI agents and how we actually delegate tasks to these systems. To really get AI agents, we have to understand this principal-agent dynamic. And guess what? It starts with you. You, the human user, are the principal. You're the one who has a goal, a problem to solve, or just some task that you really want done. And on the flip side, we have the agent. In our context today, the agent is the AI system. It's the powerhouse tool that has the computational muscle and the deep learning models to actually go out and execute the tasks. The core interaction, the real magic, happens right here, when the human officially delegates authority to the AI agent. You're basically handing over the digital reins, telling the AI, hey, go out into the digital environment and act on my instructions to achieve this goal. Let's move ahead and see how this builds into the complete loop. You delegate, the AI acts. But notice that bit right in the middle? Informational asymmetries. This is absolutely crucial. It basically means you know things the AI doesn't, like what your true underlying desires are. And the AI knows things you don't, like the exact mathematical weights of its network or the billions of data points it processed. That gap right there, that asymmetry, is exactly why giving your AI super clear instructions is so important.
Okay, final stop on our roadmap: AI safety and ethics. It's time to set up some much-needed guardrails. As your learning coach, I've got to emphasize this. Learning to use AI means understanding its very real dangers. Look, deep learning is poised to change our world, just like electricity or the internet did. The potential upside in healthcare, design, and education is massive. But the potential for harm, it's just as big. We absolutely have to consider issues like bias and fairness, privacy and security, misaligned objectives between you and the AI, and the dangers of misleading anthropomorphism, which, by the way, just means treating the AI like it actually has human feelings or understanding. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. And this brilliantly illustrates why that fairness guardrail is so critical. If we train an AI system on historical data, guess what? It will reproduce historical biases. There are literal textbook examples of this. In one case, an AI system designed to sharpen blurry face images systematically made non-white people look more white. In another, a system asked to generate pictures of lawyers spit out exclusively pictures of men. Careless algorithmic decision-making can so easily entrench or even worsen the societal biases we already have. Another massive safety concern is this friction you see right here: misaligned objectives. When the AI agent's mathematical goal doesn't perfectly match our real-world human values, things go off the rails. Fixing this is what experts call a collective action problem. Basically, we all have to work together to prioritize safety. That means being totally honest about what AI can and cannot do, and definitely not treating these systems like humans, so we don't end up blindly trusting them with critical, life-altering decisions. So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a quick thought experiment. How will you ensure these powerful tools remain far, private, and aligned with human values the next time you use them? We've successfully mapped out the whole shebang today, from the math behind deep neural networks to how they learn, create, and act on our behalf. You've now got the foundational roadmap to continue your AI journey safely and effectively. Keep exploring, stay curious, and always keep those ethical guardrails in mind. Thanks for learning with me.